Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description.
The end of World War IV. Sasuke and I are returning to Konoha. I became a legend who saved everyone. Everyone was very happy that the war was over and that we won it. Everything fell into place, and people celebrated the victory for a long time. After this war, all the villages no longer feuded. Kakashi was the new Hokage, and I think I'll be the next Hokage because everyone recognized and respected me. And I also forgot to tell you, Sasuke and I are friends again, and also, how should I say it, I started dating Hinata. And we've been dating for about a year now. And so I'm thinking of proposing to her tomorrow. Well, now I need to rest before tomorrow. And I fell asleep in an empty room with a smile on my face. Morning. I'm already out of bed and walking around the room. Or rather, I'm looking for the clothes I scattered all over the room yesterday. So, I'm already dressed and go outside, deciding to take a little stroll. When I went out, everything was as usual. People were chatting happily. Little children were running and playing. But I began to notice that no one seemed to notice me. They weren't paying attention, and yet they used to pester me. Oh well, I'll go visit Kakashi-sensei now. He'll be happy to see me. And I started walking towards him. He was usually in his room, working. I walked calmly towards him, but some boy bumped into me, and I went to help him up, but he pushed my hand away. I don't need help from a scary beast. He made a face and ran on. An animal. That's it. I looked after this boy. I stared after him for a long time, with a blank look. After all, I hadn't been called a beast for a long time, not since childhood. I stared for a while, and then went to Kakashi, or rather ran. And now I'm standing near the doors where Kakashi was. And suddenly I hear what they are saying there. "What are we going to do, Kakashi-san?" asked a male voice. "It doesn't matter. Send a letter that we agree to this," said Kakashi. And after their words, I burst into the room screaming. What are we chatting about? What are we agreeing to? I'd like to know. Date Bane HHHA. Naruto, what are you doing here? I didn't invite you, so go away. You're bothering us, Kakashi said in a raised voice and with a terrified expression. What are you saying, Kakashi? I didn't have time to finish speaking before the Hokage interrupted me. I told you to leave. Why don't you obey my orders? He stood up from his chair and pointed his finger at the door, making it clear that I should leave immediately. And I obeyed him and left the room, and they all looked at me with displeasure. I wish this day would come soon. He's driving me crazy, Kakashi said and started rummaging through some papers. What's gotten into him? I've never seen him like this. And he's got such a big head for it. I tormented myself with these thoughts and didn't notice how I found myself above the Hokage's faces. I sat on my father's stony face, and I began to think and remember what had happened. And I was a little surprised that I remained alive after all these battles. But I'm alive, and I will live no matter what. I sat and looked at the sky until evening came. And suddenly I remembered what I wanted to do today. How could I forget this? I'm proposing to Hinata today. I hope she's home now. And I definitely need to buy flowers. How could I forget this? I ran home for the ring, picked up the yoke, and ran to buy flowers. And I can't decide which flowers to buy. And then I remembered that she loves begonias. They are quite beautiful flowers, and I understand why he loves them. I bought a bouquet of these flowers and headed to Hinata's house. She lived alone, so I could safely propose when she opened the door. I was very nervous and couldn't knock on the door. Wait, I feel chakra, and this chakra belongs to Sasuke. I threw the ring and bouquet of flowers from my hands, burst into her apartment, ran to her room, and what I saw shocked me greatly. I saw Hinata having sex with Sasuke. What was she doing? What was Sasuke doing? What the hell are you doing? Ah, Naruto! What are you doing here? Hinata asked in a gentle voice. What are you doing? Hinata, are you really? I will never forgive you. I ran up to Sasuke and wanted to hit him, but he dodged. It's too early for you to fight me, Naruto, Sasuke shouted. I lost my temper and started fighting Sasuke. He hit me, then I hit him. And just as I was about to use Rasengan and Sasuke Chidori, Hinata stopped us. Sasuke, Naruto, that's enough. Naruto, I'm sorry, but let's break up. Her voice didn't even waver. What are you saying? I love you. I started screaming. I don't love you, Naruto. I love Sasuke, and I won't apologize for it. She stood up and walked over to Sasuke, hugged him, and kissed him again. Go away, you're bothering us. I had no other choice but to leave. But I can't come to terms with her betrayal. How could she, and with Sasuke too? My beloved girl left for my best friend. How can this be? I began to cry out of despair. I haven't felt so much pain in my soul since my childhood. And it seems to me that the time when I was a little child, when everyone was afraid of me, bullied, hated, despised, has returned. Why? Why? My soul began to scream in pain, and I could not bear this pain. But I still hoped and believed in my friends who remained near me. And with tears in my eyes, I didn't even notice that I was above my father's face. I fell to my knees and gave free rein to my feelings. But when I felt someone approaching me, I managed to calm down. And when I saw who came to me, I was surprised. Because it was Sakura, Ino, Shikamaru, Lee, Tenten, Sai, and there were others with them, Kakashi and Yamato. And they stood around me. You could say they surrounded me. But for what? Forgive us, Naruto, but we have to do this, Yamato said. If you don't resist, it won't hurt you, Sakura said. What do you mean? What do you want to do? Tell me. I screamed desperately. The Kage Council decides to destroy all the Buju so that no one can revive the Ten Tails again, but first they need to be sealed in one place so that they can be destroyed with a single volley of the new cloud weapon. 8-tailed beasts have already been collected. Only the 9 tails remains. Don't resist, Naruto. Kakashi's voice didn't even waver. And you just agreed to this? How can you? I wanted to convince them otherwise. We proposed this idea. You can blame us as much as you want, but this is in the name of justice and the future of humanity. And suddenly it dawned on me, and I remembered Obito's words. What are you fighting for? For your comrades? Or for this world? Understand, one day your friends will repay you with betrayal, and this world will turn love into hate. He was right. Justice is created by people in power for their own benefit. No one cares about others. If you're not careful, you'll be crushed. Apparently, I wasn't careful, but I won't give up. And here I thought you'd given up hope. So, basically, you give a knife to every person you trust. With it, they can protect you or destroy you. And in our case, we'll destroy you, Shikamaru said. He launched an attack with his shadows. I tried to dodge them, but it wasn't easy for me to dodge them all. They all attacked me with their techniques. Naruto, this is not a joke. Use the veil, otherwise they will capture you. Kurami's voice sounded. Okay, Kurama. I used the veil and began to fight them off. I destroyed Sai's drawings one after another and dodged Lee's blows, which were very strong. But apparently they were distracting me so that Shikamaru could catch me, and I realized this and did not fall for their trick. I used Rasengan and want to hit Shikamaru, but when I saw his face, my hand twitched and I couldn't do it. And I fell to the ground and Shikamaru caught me with shadows and I couldn't move, but I gathered my strength and just when I thought I was free, Yamato also grabbed me with his tree. And then I realized that I was caught. I was lying on the ground and couldn't move, and Sakura came up to me. She put her hand on my head. Sorry, Naruto, but I interrupted her. Don't apologize. I trusted you. It's my mistake, not yours. After these words, I hung up. I was in so much pain. It's impossible to describe this pain in words. And from this pain, I woke up and saw a not very pleasant picture. I saw Shikaku wrapped in chains, and all the tail beasts stood next to him, wearing the same chains. And we were in a dark cave. And as soon as I wanted to get up, I, too, was wrapped in chains. "Don't move, beast!" a voice shouted. "Otherwise you will die." "What's the point if I'm going to die anyway?" "Shut up." He put the sword to my throat. "Shut up, creature." I'm not going to obey you." I destroyed the chains and knocked away the sword with a deft movement and put my enemy on the ground and put a shuriken to his throat. "I can kill you now." "Don't get cocky." More chains grabbed me, and they started to strangle me. "Well, shall we begin the sealing?" 10 people appeared out of nowhere, and they stood in a circle and made many seals, which caused a spell to appear on the ground that looked similar to the one on my stomach. But before I could understand what was happening, they started pulling Kurama out of my stomach. "Naruto, we have to break these chains, and my absorption will stop. We have to do it." "I believe in you," Kurama said, and these words warmed my soul. Kurama and I began to break the chains together and succeeded. The seal on the ground was broken, and my seal on my stomach was open, which is why all the tail beasts were imprinted in it. "Kurama, blow everything to hell here. I wanted this place to be wiped off the face of the earth." "As you say, I'd be happy to." Kurama used the tail beast's bomb and blew everything up. And together with Kurama, we set off far, far away, so that no one would find us. We walked for a long time searching for this place and found a large cave. "Kurama, look what a big cave. Let's stay here." I was beside myself with joy. "Good. This seems like a great place to rest a bit." Kurama settled down near the wall and decided to take a short rest. I decided to do the same and fell asleep. But I didn't fall into an ordinary sleep. I fell into a sleep that lasted a whole 100 years. Naruto's subconscious. I really want to sleep. But what are these voices calling me? I need to open my eyes. You need to open them. I opened my eyes and found myself in a familiar place and with familiar, animals. "Oh, you're finally awake," shouted Hachibi, the 8-tailed demon. "You've been sleeping for 100 years. It's high time to wake up." Matatabi said in a gentle voice that he's already woken up. "Anyhow, he'll start screaming again now," said the unperturbed Kurama. "Don't say that, Kurama. You should be glad that he woke up," Saiken said. "What's coming here, Date Bane?" I couldn't understand what was happening. "And I told you he would scream." "Shut up, Kurama." "Son Goku, tell me what's going on here." I pointed my finger at him. "Well, how can I explain it to you, HM? You became the Jinchuriki of all the tail beasts and fell into a hibernation for 100 years. Because your body couldn't accept so much chakra. 100 years. I became the Jinchuriki of all the tail beasts. Hooray! I want to become even stronger, so I want to master the 10 Tails cloak." "What?" "All together. What did you hear? Let's start training." The first person I trained with was Shikaku. And of course, I lost to him in battle. But after extensive training, I was able to defeat him and master the shroud with Shikaku. And this happened with everyone. But during my last training session, in which I tried to merge the chakra of all the Biju and tried to use the 10-tail shroud, I managed to do it. It was similar to when I used Kurami's shroud, but it was black and had many white seals. And when I used the 10-tail shroud, 10 tails and 2 small horns appear on my forehead. I was very admired for being able to master the shroud, and just when I wanted to try it, I fell into a 500-year sleep. I know it said 1,000 years, but I think that's too much. That's why I think 500 is better. My sleep lasted for 500 long years. And now it's time for me to wake up. I open my eyes and see Kurama sleeping next to me. I got to my feet and left the cave. It was dark in the cave, but outside the bright, warm sun shone. I hadn't seen it in so long, and I hadn't felt the gentle breeze that blew my hair, which had grown long over these 500 years. But my rest was disturbed by a girl's scream. I headed toward the source of the sound, and I saw that some scumbags were attacking the girl. They were trying to rob and rape her. And as soon as this scumbag reached out to touch her, I used Shanshin no Jutsu. In short, teleport, and took his hand, preventing him from touching it. And I made him fall. How dare you harass a defenseless girl? I looked at him from top to bottom, and they realized that they could die, and they ran away, or rather, I let them run away. I turned to the girl. She was a beauty, long black hair and bright eyes. And they looked into my eyes, looked and looked. Are you okay? Did you get hurt? I asked without any emotion. Why? Yes, she answered, looking down at her feet. 2. Are you okay? Did you get hurt? I asked without any emotion. Why? Yes, she answered, looking down at her feet. She had very beautiful, long black hair, which was pulled back into a ponytail, and her beautiful black eyes and thick eyelashes, which added to her beauty. But her clothes surprised me. I've never seen anything like them before. I don't know how to describe her clothes, so here it is. http://safeboa.org/index.php ? Page signpost and s view and id 548723. She was looking at her feet, but suddenly looked sharply at me. Of course, I'm grateful to you for saving me. But don't you dare call me a defenseless girl. I can stand up for myself. And you interfered with our mission. With these words, she wanted to hit me with a fist in the face. But it was too easy to hit me, so I dodged. But I didn't expect her to kick me, so she kicked me in the stomach, but I managed to defend myself. She was surprised that I was able to defend myself, and I just smiled. And she got angry, and she began to move faster and hit harder. She performed many different attacks, but she never touched me. Who the hell are you? She took some kind of stance, and something started to glow on her right wrist, and a magic circle with runes appeared on the ground, and out of nowhere, something metallic appeared in both her hands. I had never seen this before, so I stood and looked at it, wondering what it was. And I heard a sound, and many magic circles appeared on these metal things, which puzzled me even more. And before I could blink, they were already flying at me. And with great effort, I managed to dodge, but they hit me, and my body felt a very strong pain, from which I fell to the ground, but then the pain abruptly stopped. But I couldn't get up, and this girl started to approach me, and she crouched down. You're unlucky today, but I'm surprised you were able to dodge the Void GHQ-21 shot. She then pressed that metal thing to my forehead. Just as she was about to fire another shot, I swatted it away, but she didn't let go. Then I hit her, and she fell to the ground. WH. What? How can you stand after my shot? And still move like that? She was clearly confused, but why? What are you talking about? I was also confused. So I went up to her and sat down. I'm wondering what this thing is. I've never seen anything like it. I pointed at her hand. You mean this? She raised her hands. Are you completely out of your mind? It's a void, like a pistol, but you shoot magic from GHQ-21. What? I asked her again, but I didn't hear anything in response. I only saw a very surprised face. Have you never seen it or heard of it? Everyone has them. No, I answered, which surprised her even more. What century are you living in? She apparently wanted to say something else, but fell silent. Yes, I'm listening. Well, one guy interrupted me. Okay, I'll be there now. What? Are they heading towards me? I get it. I'll be leaving now. She said this holding her ear, and I didn't understand it. Was she talking to herself? Hey, you! We need to get out of here, she shouted at me. Why? Enemy troops are heading towards us, and there are a lot of them, so we need to run. Enemy troops? There will be a fight. I'm so glad. I haven't fought in a long time, and I want to test my strength against 8-Ban. Where are they? Do you want to die? She wanted to stop me and took my hand. And I remembered how Hinata took me in exactly the same way once. And I subconsciously knocked her hand away and shouted, "Don't touch me!" She got scared and stepped back a little. Forgive me. I didn't mean to. I dropped my gaze to the ground. Nothing at all. By the way, you wanted to fight, right? Well, look around. We have nowhere to go now and no choice but to fight. And I just noticed that we were surrounded by 15 people. And they were dressed just like that girl, only black, and they had masks. And they had different weapons in their hands. Some of them had weapons like hers. Others had swords or something else, and so on. Naruto, can I help you? Kurami's voice was heard. No, it's not necessary, but I will use your cover, okay? I asked. Use as much as you want. Kurama replied. Excellent. My clothes turned bright yellow-orange. In short, the cover, everyone knows what it is. When I used it, everyone stepped back a little, and they started chatting about something. And the stranger girl also looked down. She looked at me with her eyes, in which you could read fear. What are you afraid of? Ha ha ha, I started laughing at her. Do you know how to use chakra? She asked in a hoarse voice. What a stupid question. Of course. You're weird, and they're all weird. Where did Kurama take me? He's using chakra. This can't be. Are there still those who can use chakra? The enemy shouted. Don't pay attention to the fact that he has chakra. But he broke the law, and we must capture him, just like that girl, his accomplice. Their commander apparently shouted. What other law? I asked him. What, you don't know? What kind of idiot would you have to be not to know that? Okay, I'll tell you. The law goes like this. Don't allow anyone to use chakra. And detain those who use it, and if they resist, they can be killed. But since it's so rare these days to find people who know how to use chakra, you could say, for us, a diamond that could make us rich. Catch him alive. And don't let him go. He motioned to his men to attack us. I don't understand anything, but I will fight you. 8-Ban, ha ha ha. I ran to meet them, and the battle began. 8-Ban. Where did I hear that? She asked herself thoughtfully. What are you standing there for? Help me. Fine. The battle began. Many people shot at me, but no one could hit me. There were also people who were very strong in close combat, and it was becoming more and more difficult for me to fight off everyone. But my stranger came to my aid. She was very skilled with her weapon. She shot at everyone without stopping and fought back. And I really liked her. I got a little distracted, and they started attacking and shooting at me, and I fell to the ground. It was very painful, but this pain was bearable. So I stood up and spoke. You know, you amuse me, but these are not toys anymore, and it hurts me, so I will start playing seriously. I looked at them with a murderous look, and then at the stranger. Come here, otherwise you'll get hit too. She obeyed me, ran up to me, and stood behind me. I raised my hand up, and 2 more hands from chakra appeared from my back, and they began to create a colossal raisin shuriken. When it took shape, everyone was frightened, but I smiled. And so I threw it at them. Colossal Rasen shuriken technique. I threw it at them, but someone put up a barrier, and my technique disappeared, and the barrier that stopped my attack began to disintegrate, and eventually it too was destroyed. My colossal raisin shuriken couldn't break through this barrier? I said. He was able to destroy, not destroy the barrier? The girl asked. And everyone thought there would be another round, if not for one thing. Naruto, I see you have problems. How pathetic you are. Ha ha ha. A terrible voice sounded, which sounded like the voice of the devil. Well, of course you understood who this Bugaga is. Don't laugh at me. But better yet, help me. I shouted in a cheerful voice. Don't tell me what to do, or I'll crush you, was the demon's threatening voice. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm asking for your help. And if I were telling you what to do, I'd order you to bring me a hot ramen. Oh, life would be heaven. Dream about it, he began to shout. Who is this? I'm scared. She came even closer to me. Don't worry, this is my friend. I reassured her. Kurama, don't hide, come out. The ground began to shake from the demonic beast's footsteps. A huge beast with 9 tails emerged from the cave. It let out a roar that shook the air and scared the hell out of the enemies. It took a couple more steps and appeared behind me, emitting a terrifying aura. Everyone was terrified, and many who tried to escape fell to the ground and couldn't get up. My, friend grabbed my hand and looked at Kurama. And I heard my enemies start chatting. Demon. Beasts. Die, animals. Someone shot at us, but Kurama blocked it with a simple wave of his paw. Demons, beasts. Right, you're right, we are beasts. I didn't even notice how I used the 10 Tails cloak. And I began to emit a black aura. Small horns appeared on my head, and my hair turned pitch black, and the tips of my hair shimmered white. And I began to move my 10 tails, and they began to create a strong wind. And I looked down at my enemies with my red eyes that shimmered orange. A man must be truly brave and even dangerous to defeat a ferocious beast, I said. Many started running after my words. I won't let them escape. I extended my hand forward, and a small ball began to appear. When it formed, I fired it, and they used the same barrier that stopped my colossal raisin shuriken. But I don't think this barrier will save them this time. And I was right. It collapsed in a second, and they were hit by my attack. But it could have hit us too, so we had to leave this place. And my cloak immediately ended. Still, the shroud is cool, right, Kurama? I couldn't be happier. That's right, and I've never seen anything like it before, Kurama replied. Have you forgotten about me? Asked the stranger. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot, sorry. I started to run towards her, but she hit me, and I fell to the ground. Why hit me? How am I supposed to understand all this? Explain it all to me, please. And what kind of fox is this? She looked at Kurama. And this is Kurama, my faithful friend and comrade. I've been with him since childhood. Although he looks scary, he is kind and good. What did you say? Kurama was indignant. Ha ha ha, you see? Don't be afraid of him. I forgot to ask, what's your name? There was a wide smile on my face. My name is Yuki. My vision started to darken, and I felt weak, which made me lose consciousness. But I never heard her full name. I hear some voices. Who do they belong to? Kurama. Please do it again. The girl screamed. I won't, otherwise you'll definitely kill me. Kurama shouted. Yes, it's Yuki and Kurama. Why are they screaming? Can't they be quieter? I began to lazily open my eyes and saw that the sun was already setting. Why are you shouting? I wanted to get up, but a sudden pain throughout my body prevented me from doing so. Oh, you're finally awake. Yuki ran up to me. You lost consciousness so suddenly that I was a little scared for you. The girl extended her hand to help me up, and I extended my hand to her. Don't use this power too often, otherwise it will destroy you. Do you understand that, Naruto? Said Kurama, who was looking at me from top to bottom. Yes, I already understood that, I said, scratching the back of my head. And just as I wanted to continue the conversation, Yuki interrupted me. So your name is Naruto, such a cool name. And that was the name of a hero from World War IV. You're lucky with your name. She put her hand on my shoulder and smiled tenderly. But after a while, she abruptly pulled her hand away, screaming and falling to the ground. WH. What was that? Yuki asked with a scream. You probably felt the one who is sitting inside me. I put my hand to my stomach. My friends. I smiled at her and held out my hand. Inside you? It can't be you. The hero with the hair of the sun and the eyes of the clear sky, the hero of World War IV. Uzumaki Naruto. She looked at me with surprised eyes, but for some reason it seemed to me that there was anger and hatred in those eyes, but I didn't attach much importance to it. Yes, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, hero of World War IV, ha ha ha, and no need to embellish it like that. I'm even embarrassed. How is this possible? This war happened 600 years ago. What? What? I shouted at the top of my lungs. Kurama, what does that mean? Please explain it to me? When you mastered the veil, you fell into hibernation for 500 years. Are you satisfied? Then don't scream. The fox said in a quiet voice. Minus 500 years is a long time. Heh 500 years. Naruto! Don't leave us! Do you hear me? Wake up, Naruto! Yuki tried to bring me to my senses. But the girl couldn't take it anymore and slapped me in the face. Stop crying, you're a man! Why hit me? It hurts. Kurama, what should I do? How could something like this surpass? I don't understand anything. I would never have thought that the hero of World War IV is such an idiot and a winner, said Yuki with a twisted face. Finally, someone understands me. Kurama sighed. Where is Konoha, and what happened to it? I suddenly asked. Konoha was destroyed 400 years ago, Yuki said calmly. And when I heard this, I started shaking. I just couldn't believe it was destroyed. How is this possible? Am I alone again? No, I was alone from the very beginning, and the only ones who were truly with me were Kurama, Yuki, Chome, Saiken, Kaku, Son Goku, Isabu, Matatabi, and Shikaku. And suddenly I felt a terrible pain in my stomach. It almost made me fall. Naruto, what's wrong? Asked a worried Yuki. I'm hungry, I said barely audibly. But Kurama heard it and started laughing at me, and then Yuki too. We need to go to the city, and you can eat there. And I can take you there. Kurama and I agreed to go with her to this city. As we walked into the city, Yuki told me everything about this time. She also forbade me to use chakra, otherwise they would want to kill me again. She also told me about school and much, much more. I learned a lot from her. If not for her, I wouldn't have known what to do. And so we were approaching the city. Yuki told me not to tell anyone that I was from the past, and not to tell anyone that my last name was Uzumaki, otherwise they would ask me a lot about it. And so we were already near the city, and there was one problem, and that was Kurama. Kurama, you are too big to enter the city, said Yuki. And what should we do? I asked. I know what to do. We need Kurama. Do what you did when Naruto was unconscious, Yuki said in a cheerful voice. Okay, Kurama agreed obediently. And Kurama's chakra began to appear around him. He began to shrink, and shrank to the size of an ordinary fox, but his 9 tails remained. And when I saw this, I couldn't stop laughing. And Yuki began to hug him, or rather, strangle him. And Kurama began to yell at us, but we calmed down and went into the city. I was very surprised when I saw him. I couldn't stop admiring him. Yuki began to talk about this city. And it's called Zone 21. A strange name, that's all I can say. And so, according to Yuki, we enter her apartment. I'm so tired and hungry. What do you have to eat, Yuki? I asked, looking around the apartment. She had a regular apartment. I'll make you something now, and will you eat it, Kurama? Yuki asked tenderly. But she didn't hear the answer because Kurama turned away and walked into an unknown room. But Yuki wasn't surprised, and she went into the kitchen and started cooking for me. I was very curious how she did it, so I spied on her. Yuki ran around the kitchen, managing to fry, steam, boil, and so on. And when she finished cooking, I sat down to eat. The food was very tasty, so I asked for seconds many times. And after I ate, I went to sleep on an unfamiliar bed. But Yuki didn't let me sleep. Go to the living room and sleep. She threw me off the bed. Why? I was very tired and sleepy. This is my room, so get out of here. Yuki kicked me out of the room, and I walked with small and slow steps into the living room, fell on the sofa, and fell asleep. I woke up because something fell on me, and it was a knocked out Kurama. What happened? Hey Yuki, why is Kurama unconscious? I shouted. Because I'm late for school because of him. I'll kill this sly fox when he gets him back. Yuki ran around the apartment, and she put on some clothes. I want to go to school with you. Take me with you. No way. I'll never take you with me. Stay home and don't go anywhere. She ran out of the apartment, as if I have anywhere to go. And I'll get revenge on you for not taking me with you. I started making a mess in her apartment, throwing her things all over the room. And I did this for a whole hour, but then I got bored. So I laid down on the couch again and looked at the ceiling. I stared until Yuki came. I'm home. What was Naruto doing? When Yuki saw her apartment, she was speechless and turned into a monster. Hello, how was school? Was it fun? I was bored, so I did all this to avoid being bored, but then even that got boring. I stared at the ceiling until you came. What the hell have you done to my apartment? She started screaming and getting furious. And I started running away from her, because if she caught me, she wouldn't say hello. But when she caught up with me, she knocked all the nonsense out of my head, and after all that, she started cleaning the apartment. And when she had everything cleaned up, Yuki started making dinner. And it was, as always, very tasty. Are you going to school again tomorrow? And you won't take me with you? Yes, I'm going, and of course I won't take you with me. Well then, expect even more chaos tomorrow, okay? I had a grin on my face. And Yuki choked on her food because of this. Okay, you'll go to school. Yuki took out a computer and started typing on it. When I asked her what she was doing, she said she was entering my information for admission to school. When she did this, she went to the doors, opened them, and then closed them, but she had something in her hands. Here, take this. This is your uniform. I took it and looked at it. It was white. Do I have to wear this? I didn't like this uniform. Of course. And go to bed. You have to get up early tomorrow. Yuki shouted and locked herself in her room. I obeyed Yuki and went to bed. Yuki woke me up early in the morning and said it was time to go to school. I changed into a white uniform, which I didn't really like. Then we went to school together, and Kurama voluntarily stayed home. As we walked to school, Yuki told me about school, but I wasn't interested, so I didn't listen. And then we were already at the school. It was huge. And when we entered, everyone was looking at me and whispering about something. Well, Yuki didn't pay attention to this and walked forward. Yuki, why is everyone looking at me like that? I asked in a quiet voice. Because you're new to our school and no one has seen you, so everyone's looking at you. Yuki turned her head towards me and looked me up and down. And also because you stand out too much. Will I stand out? How? I asked, confused. Well, this uniform suits you. And also because of your hair, it's too long, and at the same time it makes you look prettier. And you're tall. And girls love all this, so they look at you and whisper. That's all. She sighed and looked around and turned somewhere, so I followed her. And then Yuki pointed to the side with her hand, and there stood the teacher. There's a teacher waiting for you there. Go up to him, and he'll tell you everything. By the way, your last name is Shimizu now. Naruto Shimizu, remember. Well then, I'll be leaving. See you after class. She waved at me and left. Well, I went up to the teacher and the bell rang for class. Hello, you're probably the new guy. Naruto Shimizu, right? The teacher looked at me. Yes, I'm new, I answered, looking at the teacher. Okay, my name is Kondo Ogawa. I'll be your homeroom teacher. Let's go to class. He opened the doors and entered the classroom. And I followed him. And when he entered, everyone became quiet. And when they saw me, they started whispering among themselves. Hello. and I ask for silence so I can make an announcement. Well, as you understand, an exchange student has transferred to us. Please introduce yourself. The teacher looked at me. My name is Naruto Shimizu. I'll be glad to study with you. I bowed. I hope I did everything as Yuki told me. But for some reason everyone was silent. Naruto, go sit at an empty desk, the teacher said. I started walking towards the empty desk, which was near the window, just before the last one. When I sat down, the teacher started the lesson. He was telling me something I didn't understand at all. So I laid my head on the desk and started looking at the blue sky through the window, and the teacher started talking louder and louder. But someone interrupted his lesson. Hello, sorry Ogawa-sensei, I overslept, said the voice of a girl who had just entered the classroom. Okay, take your seat, the teacher replied and continued the lesson. The unfamiliar girl started walking toward her desk, and as she kept getting closer and closer to me, her desk was behind me. When she approached me and looked at me, she ran up to me screaming, You're new, and you're handsome. Wow, what hair! Are you a foreigner or not? What's your name? Where are you from? She ran up to me, took my hand, and started asking me a bunch of questions. Well, I looked at her with surprised eyes. Hey, please stop asking so many questions and let go of my hand. Oh, I'm sorry. She smiled and let go of my hand. Hey, Kenichi, don't stick to him, the girl shouted. I'm not clinging to him. I just want to get to know him. My name is Konishi Fukui. What's yours? She smiled again. Imagine what she looks like. Let your imagination run wild. Naruto Shimizu. I tried to force a smile. Naruto, nice to meet you. Can we be friends? She extended her hand to me. Okay. I extended my hand to her, and I wanted to continue, but I was interrupted. Hey, we're not bothering you, and we have a lesson. So please show yourself the way you should. The teacher started scolding us. Come on, teacher. The lesson is about to end anyway. As soon as she said this, the bell rang. And before I knew it, the whole class surrounded me and started asking a lot of questions, and I had no choice but to answer their questions. Well, just as I was about to run away, the bell rang for class. It's the third hour of classes. Everyone is tired. The teacher draws a diagram on the board, a circle with another circle inside it, and asks in a cheerful voice, Well, what does it look like? And then a quiet, sad voice is heard from the audience. Like an escargot. Everyone started laughing, even I smiled. But after the funny joke, the boring lesson began again. And to keep from getting bored, Konishi started playing with my hair, braiding it in many braids, twirling it, and so on. Then the bell rang for recess, and I reluctantly left the classroom and headed to Yuki. She said she studied in a different wing and told me which class, but I didn't know where exactly she was. I wandered around the school looking for her. I found her, but some guys were pestering her, just like when we met, and I approached them. Why are you being stubborn? Come with us, said some guy. Don't even think about refusing, the guy said with a grin. No way. If I go with you, I might get infected with your stupidity, Yuki said with a smile. What did you say? The guy wanted to hit her, but Yuki deftly put him on the ground. You want to hit me? Well then, go ahead. She let go of him and motioned for him to attack. His hand began to glow just like Yuki's, and a medium-sized sword appeared in his hand. The guy began to attack Yuki. She deftly dodged his attack, but another guy snuck up behind her and launched his own attack. I immediately protected her and took his attack with my hand, drawing blood. Do you even understand what you wanted to do? You could have killed her. I started telling this guy. Naruto, what are you doing here? Yuki asked me. How is your hand? It just hurts a little, that's all, I replied. You took a direct hit on your arm. How are you still able to stand on your feet? And why wasn't your arm blown to pieces? The guy asked in a trembling voice. He took the hit and can stand? Who is he? I've never seen him before, said those who had just witnessed it. What's wrong? Wasn't the shot so strong that I fell to the ground? What's going on, Yuki? I was confused. You just took a shot from our school's most powerful void, Yuki said, looking at my hand. I'd like to see you in my office. But first, go to the medical center, the director said out of nowhere. Yuki and I went to the medical center, where they bandaged my arm. Then we went to the director. I've been waiting for you, said the principal. Yuki, you broke the school rules, so you will be punished. You must return the void to the vice principal. Do you understand? But director, I didn't use the void. Why should I return it? Yuki asked with a depressed face. Don't worry, you'll have it in a week. And what about you? You're new, right? You handled our school's strongest void so easily, even though you only got scratches. I'd like to see your void. Please show it to me. What? I don't have it. He, I said with a laugh. And the director was very surprised by this. I can't even believe it. But you're very strong. I can even feel your strength. He looked at me as if he could drill a hole. Well, if you don't have a void, then we'll give you one. He took out a bracelet and put it on my hand. And suddenly the bracelet began to glow and a magic circle appeared on the ground. It was very large. And then some huge object began to appear in my hand, but I couldn't see it because of the light. And as soon as I began to understand what was in my hand, it disappeared, and the bracelet fell and shattered into a bunch of little pieces. And the director was shocked by what he saw, and after that he sent us home. Why didn't the void appear? And why did it collapse? Yuki was in thought when we were walking home. Naruto, you go home yourself and I need to do something, okay? Without hearing my answer, she ran away. Well, I didn't go home, but decided to take a little walk. I left the city and went to a large forest. I quickly came to it, and when I saw it, it was very familiar to me, and there was a cliff, and at the bottom of the cliff there was a large dense forest that it was impossible to see what was hiding in it. I stood on the edge of the cliff to better see what was hiding in the forest, but a strong wind blew, and I lost my balance and began to fall down. And I fell on some large stone, and when I began to look at what I fell, I was stunned because it was the face of my father, or rather the face of the Hokage. And I turned my head and saw a village, which was hidden in the forest, and it was my native village in which I grew up, Konoha. And I fell on some big stone, and when I started to look at what I fell, I was stunned because it was my father's face, or rather the Hokage's face. And I turned my head and saw a village, which was hidden in the forest, and it was my native village where I grew up, Konoha. How is this possible? Yuki said that it was destroyed 400 years ago. I went down to the ground and started to examine the village. It looked abandoned. Everything was overgrown with plants, but somewhere I felt chakra. And I started to look for those who lived here. And I searched almost the entire village but found no one. No. Someone is approaching. He threw shurikens at me, but I dodged. I took a few steps back and looked around me but saw no one. And again they threw shurikens at me, but this time there were more of them. But this time they didn't touch me. Hey, who's there? Show yourself and stop hiding, I shouted. 5 people appeared, dressed like shinobi and wearing masks. Without a second thought, they attacked me. They were very fast and completely different from anyone I'd encountered before. They weren't using voids. They were fighting hand-to-hand with shuriken. Now was no time to think about that. Who are you? What happened to Konoha? I asked. And everyone immediately took a couple of steps back. Do you know about Konoha? Asked the masked man. Yes, I grew up in it. My nerves were on edge. What are you talking about? We don't know you. Some guy yelled and disappeared. Did he just use ninjutsu? Can they really use chakra? And suddenly the guy who disappeared hit me in the back, and I fell to the ground, flying a couple of meters away. It hurts. I stood up. I asked you what happened to Konoha and where everyone is. And you know how to use chakra, right? How the hell could he know that we can use chakra? And how did he know where Konoha is? Asked the same guy who hit me. I fell off a cliff and landed on the Hokage's face, and then started looking for people, and found you. And I can use chakra myself, I said with a smile. He can use chakra? Everyone was surprised. What are you talking about? You're spying! And we won't fall for it, the masked guy shouted. Suddenly, another guy appeared next to him, also wearing a mask. Kiro, enemy troops from Zone 34 are approaching us, another stranger quickly said. What? Everyone's getting ready for an attack. It's all because of you that you brought troops here, am I right? The guy started walking towards me. Enough, Dat Bane. I'm not a spy and I didn't bring troops here. I got here by accident and I'm not lying about the chakra. He's driving me crazy. Well then, if you can get out of here, then maybe I will believe you. He tied me up with chakra near the tree, and then he himself disappeared like everyone else. What the hell is going on here? When did he manage to bind me with chakra? I started screaming. After a while, I started trying to get out. But I couldn't, and then it dawned on me that I could absorb this chakra. Kurama taught me just in case, and it came in handy. I quickly absorbed the chakra and headed to the battlefield. And when I saw how they were fighting, a memory came flooding back to me of when I fought the same way, protecting what was dear to me. They still use chakra, using the same techniques that my friends used. I thought for a while whether I should join the fight. Well, my decision was, of course, yes. I headed towards them. And the guy who tied me up noticed me. And there I was, standing on the battlefield. How did you manage to escape? He was very surprised. I told you that I can use chakra. We spoke while dodging the enemy's attacks, and it wasn't very convenient. I still won't believe you if I don't see it. When dance? He pushed the enemy back about 20 meters and caught me in the process. Are you an idiot? I'm on your side. Sorry, I accidentally hit you, he said with a laugh. And he got distracted and 3 people shot at him at once, and he couldn't dodge. Watch out! Multiple shadow cloning. My clones took the hit and immediately disappeared. You can really use chakra? He was lying on the ground. And you didn't believe me? Come on, get up. I offered him my hand to help him get up, but he didn't accept my help. Why accept help from a man who only sees himself as a king because of clones? And someone shot at me, and I didn't hear what he said, but I managed to stop the shot with my hand. And this shot is weaker than that guy who shot me today. And what you just said, I didn't hear because of the shot. Nothing. His voice was shaking because of what? Hey, stop talking. We're actually fighting here. Someone's voice was heard. And this guy and I don't even know how it happened, started fighting as a pair. We covered each other, or I was constantly covering him, and we were surrounded. And the guy and I stood with our backs to each other and repelled the attacks as best we could, but I didn't use chakra. Hey, what's your name? Asked the stranger. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, I shouted, and I no longer care what Yuki will say if he finds out that I said my last name. Uzumaki Naruto? No, that can't be, the boy said to himself. My name is Uchiha Kira. Uchiha? My mind clouded over and unpleasant memories flooded in. But I didn't stop fighting, and we routed the enemy. Kira was far away from me, and I began to approach him, hiding my face. Uchiha? Heh, that can't be true. If it's true, then does that mean you have Sasuke and Hinata's blood in you? I hate the Uchihas. My mind went blank, and I couldn't control myself. A Resonon started appearing in my hand, and I was getting closer and closer to it. Hey Naruto. What's wrong? Kira took a step back. I hate the Uchiha. I started running, and as soon as I wanted to direct the Resonon, I heard Kurama's voice. Naruto, don't be stupid. Calm down. Don't even think about killing him. And as soon as I heard his voice, I came to my senses and stopped the attack. What just happened, Naruto? Can you explain? You wanted to attack me? And wasn't that a Resendon by any chance? Kira said in a trembling voice. Forgive me. I just remembered something bad and lost control of myself. Oh yes, it was Resendon. I looked at my hand and began to create Resendon, and then showed it to Kira. See, I can use Resendon and you can't. I made a face and started laughing. How can someone like you know how to use a Resendon? He took off his mask and ran up to me, looking at the Resendon. He had black hair and black eyes. Uchihas are all like that. You're the spitting image of Sasuke. I was a little scared. Sasuke? Where did I hear that? Sasuke. Sake. Uchiha Sasuke? But that's the founder of the Uchiha clan. How do you know him? Kiro couldn't calm down. He's not even a clan founder. He's an arrogant jerk who acts like God knows what and betrays his friends at the first opportunity. I went from shouting to a whisper. How do you know him? Asked a man behind him. He was once my friend, once, I repeated. How is this possible? Everyone in chorus. Why does everyone have the same reaction? Okay, I'll tell you something. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the hero of the Fourth World War, the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Or rather, now I'm the Jinchuriki of all the tailed beasts. I know you might not believe me, but when I got all the tailed beasts, I fell asleep for 100 years, and then for 500 years. I didn't believe it myself. I muttered the last words barely audibly. And when I raised my head, I saw a lot of people looking at me puzzled. At least say something. There's a legend sitting in front of us. Are you kidding me? I don't believe it, people said. I believe you, Kira said. And when I looked at him, I saw that he was using the Sharingan. I see your chakra and the tailed beast's chakra. There's so much of it that just a little more, and this impression will just come out. Ha ha ha. Don't embarrass me like that. I laughed, but my laughter was interrupted by Kurama. Naruto, call me! Kurama was not himself. What happened, Kurama? I was confused. There's no time for questions now. Just summon me, Kurama shouted. Okay. I looked around. Could you please step back a little? What is Naruto? Kira asked. No, nothing. I just want to invite someone here, I said with a smile. Whom? My old friend. Summon. Kurama. I bit my hand and put it on the ground, and a lot of dust appeared. It was impossible to see who I summoned. But Kurama dispersed the dust with his large tails. You've been shrimping for too long, Kurama shouted in a rough voice. Naruto! Something bad has happened! Yuki screamed. What are you doing here, Yuki? Yuki ran towards me. You summoned me along with Kurama. Naruto, you must save our country. What actually happened? I asked. Our country has been attacked. Everyone has gone against us. They have started a war against us. The Fifth World War has begun, and many cities have already been captured. Naruto, you must help us. Yuki couldn't hold back her tears and begged me for help. Okay, Kurama and I and everyone else will help you. I will help them. Kurama, are you with me? Of course. Where would I go? Kurama was on edge. This may sound stupid on my part, but could you help us with this war? I turned my gaze to the people who still knew how to use chakra. If we have the nine-tailed demon fox and Naruto on our side, then of course we'll join you, Kiro shouted, and everyone supported him. I'm glad about that. I put my hand on my stomach. Are you ready for battle? I opened the seal on my stomach, and all the tailed beasts appeared near me. Always ready, Naruto, the tailed beast shouted. Well then, forward to war. I shouted and ran, and everyone ran after me. Well then, forward to war. I shouted and ran, and everyone ran after me. They all ran without hesitation and with self-confidence. But they were a little afraid of the tailed ones, and not everyone really understood yet what was superior, well, just like me. And now we were already near the city, and we were not greeted with warm embraces. They stopped us halfway and wanted to attack us. Who are you? And what kind of monsters are you with? Do you want to attack us? The troops shouted desperately. We came here to help you. And don't ask unnecessary questions. And where's your leader? Kira shouted instead of me. So we're just going to believe you. Are you dreaming? You are the enemy. Begin the attack. He waved his hand, and up to 100 people started shooting at us. I took a step forward. My clothes turned black, along with my cloak, and white seals appeared all over my body. My hair turned black at the tips, shimmering white, and 10 tails appeared. My eyes turned red, and my skin turned pale. I pulled my hand back, and the shots aimed at us scattered in opposite directions, exploding without hitting us. I started walking toward them, and when they noticed, they started shooting at me non-stop, but before the shots could reach me, they were already flying in the other direction. They didn't understand why they couldn't hit me, so they started running as far away as possible. Where are you running, you cowards? Everyone get back to your places and keep shooting, their commander-in-chief shouted, and he didn't even notice that I was already standing in front of him. When he did, he fell to the ground. Who are you? His voice trembled. I'm your friend, and I want to help you with this war. So don't be afraid of me. And if you tell me where your commander is, it will make our job easier. I sat down and smiled at him. He's in the center of the city, in Tower R31. I'll take you there. The guy gulped, stood up, and began leading us to the tower. As we walked, many were wary of us, all because we were with 9 huge, terrifying beasts. Well, with difficulty, we reached the tower. Yuki, Kira, and I went inside, while everyone else stayed outside. The guy led us to their commander. Commander, I brought those who want to help us, said the guy. Okay, you can leave. A rough male voice sounded, and he stood with his back to us. And why do you want to help us? Because this is where we grew up, and we won't tolerate our country being attacked, Yuki shouted. Hush, Yuki. We want to help because if you don't win this battle, we'll be killed. So we have no other choice but to join you, said a calm Kira. What are you talking about? You're just a bunch of kids who don't even know how to fight. And what do you know about war? You don't even know what it is, the man shouted. I live to fight. I had to fight every day to survive, Kira said quietly. Me too, Yuki held him. Yuki, Kira, was it really hard for them too? And what if it's even worse in war? He completely contradicted. Do you know what war is? I couldn't resist and approached him. How dare you speak to me in such a tone? He was furious. You don't even know what a battle is. You don't know the pain war brings or the grief when your friends, family, die. I know what it's like firsthand. I've had to constantly fight those many times stronger than me. So stop talking nonsense and just help us with our bonuses. I yelled at him, saying that this commander was now afraid of me. Suddenly, I was overcome by an unpleasant, yet familiar feeling. And Yuki looked at me strangely. Okay, I'll accept your help. Go to the left flank. They're having a hard time there right now. Go and don't let me down. He pointed to the door and made it clear that we should head there immediately. And we quickly headed to the left flank. We went outside, told them everything. And then we went to the left flank, and when we arrived there, we immediately got to work. Everyone fought as best they could, Kurama and everyone else too. Well, I stood there and did nothing. And I raised my head and looked at the sky, which was hidden by gray clouds, and it started to rain. Hinata, Sasuke, Sakura, Shikamaru, and everyone else. I don't know why you did all this then. But now I don't hold a grudge against you anymore. I forgive you for what you did. Now I have a new life with new people, and it seems to me that a new love has appeared. But I would still like to hear the reason. Ah, but that's not possible. I whispered and closed my eyes and smiled faintly. Naruto, what the hell are you doing? Now is not the time to be daydreaming. Kurama scolded me. Right. Thanks for distracting me from my thoughts, Kurama. Let's play. I used the Ten Tails cloak, and I began my game. The tail beasts were in full swing, as were Kira and Yuki, and they all worked well together. And I joined them. And suddenly we noticed that the enemies had started using some kind of unknown machine, and even Kira and Yuki didn't know what it was. And when this machine fired, it left nothing behind, only dust. And this machine fired at us, but thanks to the tail beasts, it didn't hit us. What kind of machine is this? It destroys all living things. What are we going to do? I asked the tailed ones. Well, of course, Son Goku didn't have time to finish before Kurama interrupted him. Destroy them as their enemies, Kurama said with a smile on his face. Excellent. Yuki, help those who are wounded, and we'll go straight to the enemy and destroy their machine, and them along with it. I ran straight to the enemy, followed by all the Biju. No, Naruto, you can't do this, shouted Kiro. Don't worry about him so much. He's still Uzumaki Naruto. He won't die so easily. Yuki put her hand on Kira's shoulder and calmed him down. We ran from Biju straight towards the enemy and dodged the vehicle shots, and as soon as we approached them, we destroyed the vehicles and the enemies with one blow. We won the battle on the left flank. Hooray, we won on the left flank. I couldn't be happier about it. So, are you going to go back to my stomach, or are you going to stay here a little longer? We don't get along very well with people, so we'll go back to your belly, Matatabi said. That's right, said the tailed ones. Well, as you wish. I put my hand on my stomach and closed the seal, and all the tail beasts returned to the stomach except Kurami. And we ran to everyone else. You're just something, Naruto. Kiro started waving his arms and saying something. I didn't understand anything, but I pretended that I understood everything. You really are something. Yuki started to approach me, and as soon as she wanted to say something, she was accidentally pushed and she started to fall, and I wanted to catch her, but I lost my balance, and we fell to the ground together, and Yuki was above me. She looked into my eyes and blushed a little, and then I followed her. You're flirting in broad daylight. How shameful, hee, said Kara. Stop making things up. We're not flirting. Yuki Bistro stood up, hitting me. Why did I have to do all this? I said, stroking my slapped cheek. And everyone started laughing, even Kurama, and you couldn't even tell that we had just been fighting. But our fun was interrupted. You're the ones who volunteered to help us, so why are you sitting and resting? Asked some guys who had just arrived. And what are you like? Asked Kiro. We were ordered to come and help you hold the left flank. In short, we're reinforcements, the man said. Well, we're a bit late with the reinforcements, said Kiro. What do you mean? They were confused. We've already defeated everyone. We defeated them and held the left flank, I said. Did you manage to do this on your own? The guys shouted. Why does no one underestimate us? I muttered. Well, those guys who came told us to go behind the right flank and help them. And we did, and everything was the same there. I freed the tail beasts, and they fought shoulder to shoulder with Yuki and Kira again, and so did everyone else, and we won again. And we chatted happily again, but that unpleasant feeling came over me again, and apparently Kurama too. Kurama, what is this feeling? It's so familiar and unpleasant, I said to Kurama. So you have this feeling too, Kurama said, and began to look around. And suddenly we realized what this feeling was. Everyone get out of here quickly, I shouted. How is this possible? But this chakra of his, I'm sure, 100%. Run away from here if you don't want to die, Kurama shouted at the top of his lungs. What happened, Naruto? Asked Kiro, confused. Don't you understand me? Run away from here if you don't want to die. It's him. I'm sure of it. He's already close, very close. I couldn't calm down. Can you explain? Kiro started shouting, and just when I wanted to explain to him what was happening, The answer came to me. Ha 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 ha, I thought I was resurrected for nothing. But when I sensed your chakra and the tailed beast's chakra, I immediately went to you, Naruto. You'll amuse me, right? Ha ha ha, a familiar voice shouted. I don't know how you ended up here, but I'll amuse you and then kill you, I said quietly. Aren't your words too arrogant? Asked a familiar voice. No, I will kill you personally. Madara, I shouted. Madara? How is that possible? This is impossible, people shouted. Well then, go ahead and attack. Naruto, Madara shouted. I don't know how you ended up here, but I'll amuse you and then kill you, I said quietly. Aren't your words too arrogant? Asked a familiar voice. No, I will kill you personally. Madara, I shouted. Madara? How is that possible? This is impossible, people shouted. Well then, go ahead and attack. Naruto, Madara shouted. Or I'll attack myself. Madara started running at me, and I at him, and I am already using the Ten Tails cloak. What is this? Is this really the Ten Tails cloak? Ha ha ha, this will be fun, Madara said between blows. You're right, but I'd like to know how you got here. I used the Rasengan, and just as I was about to hit him, he hit me, and I flew back a couple of meters. These people used Edo Tensei, but they can't even control me, Madara shouted and started running towards me. And as soon as he ran up to me, I found myself behind him. How are you? Asked Madara. I learned it. Flying Thunder God technique. I learned it when I was learning the Ten-Tailed Shroud, and I don't even need to use kunai, which is quite convenient. I used the Rasengan and aimed it at Madara, but he couldn't dodge it, and then I struck him from above. He fell to the ground, and the earth began to crumble, and my seal began to appear on his body, allowing me to easily approach him. And when I hit him, I retreated from him and was near Kurami Kiriyuki and everyone else. Damn, I expected anything but Madara. What are we going to do? He's not going to be killed that easily, I said in a quiet voice. I don't even know Naruto, but you can still put him down. He's not the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki now like he was back then, and he's not Kagaya, who you fought in another dimension. And he's not your best friend, holding back his power so Naruto and I can defeat him. Kurama held me up, and everyone started doing the same. Thank you all. Kurama, protect them all so they don't get hurt, I said. Okay, Kurama didn't have time to finish. You idiot, you put a seal on me. And you sealed it good, and I'll pay you back in kind. Madara shouted, and Susanoo appeared above him, and it was the biggest Susanoo I'd ever seen. I realized something was about to happen, so I told everyone to get to a safe place, or at least retreat a little. When they did, I started running toward Madara, and suddenly, out of nowhere, fire appeared around me that could burn me. I used the Flying Thunder God technique and appeared behind Madara, creating a double Raisin Shuriken and throwing it at Madara, but because of Susanoo, they didn't get it, but the entire Susanoo was damaged and it shattered. And I began my attack. Multiple shadow cloning. A multitude of my clones appeared around me, and they began to create resin on for each other, and they began to attack Madara, attacking him one after another. And when this attack ended, Madara could not move, and he began to say something. Not bad, but to destroy me, more is needed. And you probably forgot, I'm under the influence of Edo Tensei. Madara began to get to his feet, and his body began to regenerate. If that's not enough for you then. I raised my hand and pointed it at Madara, and a small red ball began to form in my hand. And when it formed, I aimed it at Madara. It flew, and when it reached its target, the ball exploded, destroying everything caught in the blast. And I teleported to Kurama and everyone else. Naruto, you have won! You are our savior, the people shouted. No, it's a persistent pain in the ass. You can't kill it that easily, I said. What do you mean? How can he survive after that? Kira asked. He was resurrected. You must know the Edo Tensei technique, and thanks to it, he's here now. And he won't just disappear. We need to seal him. I started thinking about how to do this. We need to think faster while his body regenerates. You're right, Naruto. We need to seal him or dispel the Edo Tensei. Then Kurama explained how to dispel the Edo Tensei, and that it wasn't that hard. Once I understood everything, I went back to Madara, and he fully regenerated. Well, shall we play Madara some more? I said with a grin. Of course. I haven't played enough yet, Madara shouted. Something's clearly wrong with his head. Why is he constantly shouting? And we began the battle again, but this time, for some reason, we didn't use chakra. We fought hand to hand, and we were equally competitive. So I used the Flying Thunder God technique to get behind him and dispel his Edo Tensei. Just as I was about to dispel it, someone hit me, and I fell to the ground. But when I saw who hit me, I was shocked. Yuki, what are you doing? I shouted. I just saved Madara from destruction, Yuki said proudly. What? Have you really betrayed me? I screamed wildly. I wasn't on your side from the very beginning. Her voice didn't even waver. But why? Why did you do this? Now there is an abyss inside me. I want to evaporate. Fall into the ground. Forever. You're so pathetic right now, Naruto. Aren't you, big brother? She turned to Madara, but he remained silent. Big brother? Are you really Uchiha, Yuki? I looked at her, looked into her eyes, Rinnegan. How is this possible? And at the same time, I thought about myself like that. No, I definitely thought about myself like that. And I realized that it was the hardest thing one could feel. The feeling that no one needs you in this world. I've been alive for over 600 years, maybe even longer. And all thanks to these eyes. I could live forever and be happy. But that didn't happen. You killed my brother when he came back to life. You killed him in World War IV when he came back to life. And if you hadn't killed him, I would have lived happily. She screamed louder and louder, and I became more and more disillusioned with friendship and love. I fell to my knees and couldn't come to my senses. You feel the same pain and sense of betrayal as you did then, right? She shouted. How? And then I asked in a whisper. Yes, the pain that I caused you. By the way, your friends didn't betray you. After her words, my body began to tremble and throw into the cold. Then that day, they were all under the influence of my eyes, and they did everything only I wish, ha ha ha. It's really funny, but it was even funnier when they came to their senses. Your beloved cried for days on end and even wanted to commit suicide, but your faithful friend didn't allow it, and he also searched for you for years, like everyone else. Ha ha ha, many mourned you and punished themselves for what they did. It's so funny. Ha ha ha. She began to laugh hysterically. And I can't take it anymore. A scream rises up from within me. From my voice it comes out, into the world a heartrending scream, in which is all of me. All my feelings and fears, wounds and pain, memories and loneliness. This is my scream for myself, for my weakness. What a sincere confession from Yuki. Madara appears behind me, and I receive a sharp blow to the back. It was so painful that I could not get up, but it does not compare to the pain that Yuki just caused me. And when Madara attacked me, he began to approach Yuki. What a fool you are, to take revenge for something that never happened. You have fallen so low, Yuki, Madara said in a quiet voice. WH. What? Yuki took a step back. I won't die at the hands of Naruto or anyone else. You don't even know anything, and you're already going to take revenge. You've disgraced the Uchiha clan, Madara shouted. If anyone doesn't know how Madara died, read the manga, chapters 678 to 679. Forgive me, Madara. She lowered her head down. Die. and I will forgive you everything." He wanted to kill her, but I gathered all my strength and ran to Yuki. I was afraid that I wouldn't have time to protect her, but I sang to protect her with my body. Madara pierced my body with his hand. "You're cleaning out the one who destroyed your life. It's a funny sight," Madara sighed. "It doesn't concern you." I put my hand on his shoulder and dispelled the Edo Tensei. Madara began to gradually disappear, and the last thing I saw before Madara disappeared, I saw him smile. And when he disappeared, I fell to the ground, and when Kurama sensed this, he immediately ran to me. "Naruto! Naruto! Just think about dying!" Kurama shouted. "Really? Was all of this fair? I just did it all in vain. But why? Why?" "You protected me?" Yuki screamed. "Because I fell in love with you, Yuki," I said barely audibly. I started to raise my hand to touch her, and Yuki took my hand and began to sincerely apologize with tears in her eyes. "Forgive me! Forgive me! Because of my revenge, I ruined the lives of many people, both you and myself," Yuki said. And tears appeared in my eyes, too, and my body began to glow, and the same thing happened to Kurama. What is this?" No, I'm not putting you down. I don't want you to die, Naruto. Please don't go. This is all because of me." She hugged me. "Don't think like you're condemning me to death. Even if the lines change and I'm gone, as long as you remember me, I'll stay here. Yuki." I put my hand on her heart and smiled. "I love you, Yuki." I hugged her, and she hugged me, and after she hugged me I disappeared, turned to dust like Kurama. No, because of my revenge. I didn't even notice that. I fell in love with you more than anyone else," Yuki whispered with tears in her eyes. The war ended thanks to Yuki, and those who wielded chakra, they won. Everything returned to normal, only a few things changed. Konoha was rebuilt, and many people moved in and began living there. The law banning the use of chakra was also repealed, and everyone began learning to use chakra again, and to do so, they began building schools just like they had been 600 years ago. Everything returned to normal. Children wanted to become shinobi and Hokage, and everyone looked up to the hero who had saved his friends and comrades many times. Then he slept for 600 years, and when he woke up, he returned what had been lost all those years ago, Uzumaki Naruto, a hero who had been betrayed by everyone, but who still believed in friendship and that it was worth sacrificing one's life for.